Hello, friends. This is Professor Googlov. Today's video will be a little unusual, but I'm sure you will like it. So, get comfortable and let's go. Rustok is a small town in the Al-Bayyina region of Oman. If you like old buildings, you can visit the Al-Hazm Castle, a fantastic example of 18th century Omani Islamic architecture. It was built to withstand powerful impacts and harsh weather conditions such as floods. On October 11, 2022, locals gathered outside the castle to watch the raging floodwaters rush down the riverbed. However, people stood too close and had to flee as the rushing torrent of muddy water approached them. In about 30 seconds the situation turned catastrophic. The guys standing very close to the river did not think that this place would be covered so quickly. In recent years, flooding has become an all-too-private phenomenon in Oman. In April 2023, the Sultan announced plans to build 3 new dams to control future water levels. Most flooding occurs in wadis throughout the country. Wadis are valleys, ravines and canals in the Middle East that remain dry outside the rainy season but fill with water during heavy downpours. On June 24, 2021, a powerful tornado devastated several villages in the Czech Republic. Surprisingly, such cataclysms are extremely rare in this part of the world. It was the most powerful tornado ever recorded in the Czech Republic and the deadliest tornado in Europe since 2001. Residents of the Hodonín district hid in their homes and filmed the approaching tornado. They watched helplessly as it destroyed everything in its path. The video just cuts off at the moment when the tornado hits the filmmaker's house. And the frames of the next clip start right from the place where the previous video was cut off. Just listen to the chaos that ensues when a tornado shatters glass. Fortunately, no one inside the house was injured, which is not the case in other cities across the Czech Republic. The storm left about 121,000 homes without power. It damaged and destroyed more than 1,200 buildings and caused more than 15 billion Czech crowns worth of damage. The Czech tornado was part of an outbreak of tornadoes across Europe that day. 7 tornadoes struck Poland, the Czech Republic, Germany, France and Russia. According to the European Storms Laboratory, between 300 and 400 tornadoes occur across Europe each year. In August 2021, the entire Black Sea region of Turkey was devastated by catastrophic flooding. Thunderstorms that started on August 7 continued until the 14th. The rain caused rivers to overflow, resulting in landslides and flooding in several cities. In some places the water rose to a height of almost 4 meters. In Bozkurt, a small town of 5,300 people on the Black Sea coast, rainwater broke through the embankment fence. One man took video from his balcony, the rushing torrent rushing down the channel. Some people ran up to the edge to get a closer look, but then the water began to overflow the barrier and people had to run away. The Asina Creek is located on a steep slope, which only exacerbates the situation. The water rushed down and flooded the town. The fact that the torrent of water was able to drag away a cement truck is a testament to the power of Mother Nature. The Black Sea region is prone to sporadic rainfall. Sudden floods have increased in recent years. There are many houses built along riverbeds. The flowing water erodes the foundations and leads to collapses. Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu called the August 2021 floods the worst flooding he has ever seen. Hundreds of villages were left without electricity. Bridges were washed away like toothpicks and nearly 500 buildings were destroyed or damaged. Istanbul, the largest city in Turkey, known in ancient times as Constantinople, serves as the cultural, economic and historical center of Turkey. About 15 million people live within and outside the city limits. That's about 19% of the country's total population. The end of September 2017 brought heavy rains to Istanbul and surrounding areas. Those who lived in the mountains outside the city were forced to flee their homes when the ground suddenly became unstable. The downpours led to one of the largest landslides ever captured on camera. You can't help but sympathize with the man with the umbrella in his hand. We don't know if the house that was washed away was his, but he certainly cared about the house. As far as we can tell, no one was in those buildings when the collapse happened. Unfortunately, other tourists across Turkey are less fortunate. The climate, tectonic conditions and topography of the country make the area very susceptible to landslides and rockslides. They are usually triggered by heavy rains, earthquakes, or both. Over a 90-year period from 1929 to 2019, landslides have become Turkey's second biggest natural disaster after earthquakes. Now, with the two disasters going hand in hand, Turkey is seen as not the best place to build a mountain lodge. When you think of the Middle East, images of arid deserts and heat come to mind. Countries such as Saudi Arabia, Yemen and Oman can go without rain for a long time. On average, some parts of these countries get only about 10 centimeters of rainfall for the whole year. But for 2 days in July 2022, the Middle Eastern country of Oman received about a year's worth of rainfall. As we mentioned earlier, this amount of water is enough to flood the wadis, the dry canyons that run through the entire country. Once the wadis fill with water, it starts to spill around. In fact, the water covers the wadi in less than a minute. The road ended up in water too. SUVs could get through, but sedans had a tough time. It was also complicated by the fact that everyone wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. Cars that are backed up create a traffic jam. And the ones in the back probably don't know what's going on. It looks like everyone made it across the bridge. We think they were out of danger once they got halfway across. Tornadoes are not a very common occurrence in Washington State, USA. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, only 131 tornadoes occurred in the state between 1954 and 2022. The worst one happened in 1972, causing more than $25 million worth of damage. In 2022, a local resident caught one of Washington's rare tornadoes on camera. He convinced his daughter to hide in the basement, because she, a brave girl, wanted to see the tornado with her own eyes. After all, she would probably never want to see the phenomenon again. You might see a storm like this in Kansas or Oklahoma, but not in Washington, D.C. Even though the tornado is far away, you never know how it will change direction. At any moment, it could veer sharply to the left and wipe out their house. From what we can see in this footage, the tornado flew high enough to do little damage. Paderborn is a small city in central Germany. It is home to about 150,000 people. The city is famous for having the world's largest Heinz Nixdorf computer museum. About 85% of the city's territory was destroyed during World War II. After decades of rebuilding, a powerful tornado in 2022 tried to destroy everything again. On May 20th, much of northern Germany was under the devastating effects of severe storms with a level 3 hazard level. Now level 3 usually means high winds, large hail, heavy rain and possible tornadoes. A local resident found himself in the epicenter of the storm while driving through town. You can see that the wind on the right is picking up. As soon as the light turns green, a tree falls almost in the middle of the road. The driver points his light at it so he can see everything and get through before something falls on him. It doesn't stop raining, but at least there are no flying trees to crush the car. The German tornado brought a lot of destruction. There were 4 more tornadoes that Friday, 3 of them in different parts of Germany and 1 in the Netherlands, just across the border from Germany. Well, as I promised, the video was interesting. So, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.